This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, a slim front pocket wallet available in carbon fiber and titanium. With more than 250,000 sold, a lifetime guarantee and free shipping, get 10% off with the code GOLDFISH at ridgewallet.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you probably realized, I've kind of been on a legacy kick lately. We played the experimental Cheerios deck. That was really fun. The Ninja deck last week was sweet. So I think I found another pretty cool legacy deck. And more importantly, this deck isn't just super cool, but it's also super cheap. Or, I mean, this deck is a normal price for like a top tier standard deck, but incredibly cheap for the legacy format at only $484 and 80 ticks on Magic Online, and that's like as budget friendly as you can get in the legacy format, and that is Turbo Depths, which was recently taken to a 5-0 finish in a legacy league on Magic Online by Sun31. So congrats to Sun31 on a really sweet finish and a super cheap for legacy deck. A quick reminder before we break down Turbo Depths for legacy: if you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So the easiest way to think about Turbo Depths is it's essentially a combo deck, and it's looking to combo off with 2 lands. Well, actually there's a bunch of different pieces, but combo piece number 1 is Dark Depths. You probably know what Dark Depths does. It is one of the more unique lands in Magic's history. It comes into play, it doesn't even tap for mana. It enters with 10 ice counters. You can pay 3 mana, remove an ice counter from it, and then whenever it has no ice counters, you sack it and you get a Merit Lage token, which is a legendary 20 with flying and indestructible. So the idea of this deck is to make Merit Lage as quickly as possible and hopefully just one-shot our opponent. A 20/20 means one attack theoretically just closes out the game. The problem is, with Dark Depths, you can't just spend 3 mana 10 times. That's 30 mana. That's going to take an infinite number of turns in a format like Legacy. So we kind of cheat a little bit to get around it. So to get a fast Merit Lage, we have 2 different plans. First off, we can use Thespian Sage, and this is kind of a weird trick. Thespian Sage is a land that can copy a land. So if we have a Dark Depths down and we use a Thespian Stage to copy it, since Thespian Stage was already on the battlefield, it's not going to get any ice counters on it because that's an enter the battlefield ability. So since it was already there, we're not going to have any ice counters, which immediately gives us a Dark Depths with no ice counters, which means we sacrifice it and we get a 20/20 Merit Lage. We can also use Vampire Hexmage, which is just a 2-drop with first strike. It's a 2/1 and not really going to win by attacking. That's not the plan of the deck, but we can sack it to remove all the counters from target permanent. So in theory, we can just Dark Depths on turn 1, turn 2 Vampire Hexmage, remove the counters, get a 20/20, kill our opponent on turn 3 by attacking with our massive Merit Lage. So this is what our deck is trying to do. The rest of the deck is based around 2 things. It is trying to support this combo, make it as consistent as possible, and also kind of protect the combo. So as far as assembling the combo, we have a million ways to tutor up the land that we need. Crop Rotation lets us sack a land, tutors for a land, puts it right into play. Expedition Map, you probably know this from Modern Tron. Same with Sylvan Scrying, are cards that can cheaply tutor up any land in our deck. So we have 12 cards that can find our Dark Depths, or they can find our Thespian Stage if we already have the Dark Depths, which means we have a ton of redundancy. It's basically like we have 16 copies of Dark Depths and 16 copies of Thespian Stage. So our deck should be pretty good at finding our 2 main combo pieces. Then we have a ton of discard. Cabal Therapy, Inquisition of Kozilek, also Duress. So 10 ways to get things that could kill our Merit Lage or disrupt our plan out of our opponent's hand. So these cards just strip away whatever answers our opponent might have, like a Swords to Plowshare, for example. Wasteland is really good against us. Pithy Needle, shutting down our combo pieces, also very strong. So on turn 1, these cards just answer whatever could answer a Merit Lage, and then we're set to just start killing our opponent really quickly on turn 2 and turn 3. Pithing Needle, kind of a weird card. It's in our deck for one specific reason, and that is to shut down Wasteland. Wasteland Wasteland is an easy way for our opponent to disrupt our combo. We go to use our Vampire Hex Mage to remove the counters from Dark Depths. Our opponent Wastelands. Everything gets fizzled. We go to copy it with Thespian Stage. Opponent Wastelands our Dark Depths. Everything fizzles. So Pithing Needle comes down, names Wasteland, shuts out this very common answer to our combo. Sylvan Library, it just digs us through our deck. It doesn't have any super specific purpose. Another way to just find our pieces coming down pretty early in the game. The other cool thing about this deck is we get a lot of interesting lands. So we talked about our combo lands, Dark Depths and Thespian Stage, but we have a bunch of different utility lands as well. Colony Garden makes a 1/1 token when it enters the battlefield. And remember, with like crop rotation, with our Sylvan Scrying, we can tutor these lands up pretty consistently. So Colony Garden makes a chump blocker on the ground. Maze of Ith keeps us alive against opponent Merit Lages, any big attackers. Sajiri Step is another tricky way to protect our Merit Lage. If our opponent goes to Swords to Plowshares, our Merit Lage, we can crop rotate, get Sajiri Steep, give our Merit Lage protection from white and fizzle the removal spell. Ghost Quarter, kind of our budget wasteland. And then for making colored mana, Llanowar Waste, Mana Confluence, Blooming Marsh give us some pretty cheap by Legacy Standard dual lands. And then Herbivore Tomb of Yawgmoth, really nice because it allows our Dark Depths and our Maze of Ith to actually tap for mana, which is really helpful in this deck. With something like Dark Depths on turn 1, Urborg on turn 2 allows us to Vampire Hex Mage using our Dark Depths for mana, remove the counters, make a Merit Lage, kill our opponent. And then we have in the sideboard a couple more lands. Bojuka Bog for Graveyard Hate, Karakas, make sure we don't get wrecked by Emrakul's and Grizzlebrands. Then we have some more protection type stuff. Sylvan Safekeeper lets us sack a land to give a creature Shroud until end of turn, so another cheap way to protect our Merit Lage. Abrupt Decay, Golgari Charm can get rid of things on the battlefield, like Pithing Needle that might be disrupting us. And then we have Sphere of Resistance to shut down combo decks. It is possible, even with a Merit Lage coming down on turn 2, us killing our opponent on turn 3, if our opponent's playing a deck like Storm, they can just have a draw that's fast enough to kill us before we are able to kill them with Merit Lage. And then Fairy allows us to get cards out of our opponent's graveyard. So good hate for things like Dredge, getting rid of the Dredgers, Reanimator, and whatnot. And that is Turbo Depths for Legacy. And that's our instant deck tech, our budget Legacy instant deck tech for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.